I hope you guys are enjoying this week off from the UFC. I know some of you guys are clamoring to get down on some action and get some breakdowns out of the way. But me, considering how much work I do on a daily basis, from updating the fight archive to researching these cards for you guys, breaking them down in written form or making videos for you guys, dropping YouTube comments or content, I should say, I'm happy to have this time off and just chill out and really just get my strength and my focus back so that I can tackle this next stretch of events that we got, and then obviously the Contender series as well. We just had the Contender series this week, had a decent showing there, but no UFC this week, and there is a CFFC card, and that's the reason I'm making this video. Now, I'm not breaking down the entire card, but there's a fight in the main event that I have a keen eye on, especially with where the odds currently find themselves. So I wanted to quickly break down that fight for you guys, as well as give you a free play for that fight. It's not a lock of the night play by any means, but I feel the underdog is definitely worth a shot. So the fight that I'm talking about is Richie Lewis and Benny Orozco, which headlines the CFFC 145 card, which goes down on Saturday. Lewis is looking to bounce back after losing out on that title against Richie Miranda in the LFA a few months back. Very close fight until that fifth round, where Lewis ran out of gas and Miranda was able to put together a finish. And Lewis, that was the first loss in his MMA career. I think he's 6-1 now. Comes from a successful wrestling background as well, which has made him so successful inside the MMA cage, because not a lot of guys can deal with his wrestling nor get up from under him. So, he's relied on it very well, and it's done very well for him through his UFC, or again, I keep wanting to say UFC career, but just MMA career all in all. But then he obviously met his match last time around against Richie Miranda, who was able to, scramble decently with him, go round for round for him there, and then obviously showcase his cardio advantage. For Lewis, he only has 3 rounds to worry about in this CFFC main event, so that cardio issue may not be that big of a factor. However, he's going up against a very underrated prospect here in Benny Orozco, who I've been very big on for the last year, maybe 2 years now. I originally came across him when I studied up on him for his Cage Warriors matchup against Anthony Orozco, and that was a fight that he took up a weight class at 170 pounds, and one that I felt he could be very competitive in, and I took him as an underdog that night. But I overlooked the strength advantage and the size difference that Anthony was benefiting from, and he was able to shut down Benny for the most part. Benny, stayed resilient throughout that matchup, but the strength difference and size difference really hampered his performance and ultimately led to him losing his first fight. But when you watch the rest of this guy's fights, he is a machine. He is a poor man's version of Marab, in my opinion. Like, he shoots a lot of takedowns. He doesn't settle for bad positions and scrambles, always working back to his feet or working to get to dominant positions. In his last matchup, he did a great job in terms of getting the back of his opponent and sinking in the choke immediately. He's very talented, has a crazy good gas tank as well. And whenever he's fighting at his actual weight class of 155 pounds, he can be very successful. And it's definitely a guy a lot of people should be keeping their eye on. Now, in this matchup against Richie Lewis, I expect Lewis to obviously get to his wrestling, but I'm expecting Orozco to be scrambling constantly and looking for better positions, or utilizing his BJJ advantage to put Lewis into some bad spots as well. Lewis, obviously, great scrambler and wrestler himself, but putting a high pace that Benny Orozco normally does, I'm expecting Lewis to start slowing down, and I think from there, we'll see Orozco start having better success in the second and third rounds. He's going to have to continue that scrambling, that constant work rate that we've known from him throughout his entire career. And again, he's not at a size disadvantage here either, going up to 170 pounds. He's fighting at 155 pounds, where he is best suited, and he's going up against a very winnable matchup here as well. Look for Orozco to set a high pace, make it competitive early, continuously scramble, and then push the pace even more in the second and third rounds, where I think we'll see him stay ahead of Lewis, maybe find a finish late, hopefully landing a little bit more damage, which we've obviously been seeing recently, scored a lot more than Control. So if Orozco can just stay constant with the damage while working out of bad spots, I expect it to get easier for him as this fight goes into deeper water. As of this recording, he's sitting at plus 350. Just yesterday, he was plus 475, down to plus 300, plus 350. I think he's worth a shot. I think you could bet him even up to that plus 150, even lines here. He's very, very competitive. The reason Lewis is getting a lot of love here is because he's a lot more known than Orozco, but I think Orozco would definitely make a name for himself on this fight, or in this fight, and I think he ends up picking up the win. So the pick for you guys here for CFFC 145 is going to be Benny Orozco. Again, not a lock by any means, but considering the odds here, he will far outperform those odds and hopefully come home with a W and help us cash a ticket. All right, hopefully that feeds the craving that you guys have for some action this weekend. I'll be back on Sunday to break down the Contender series for you guys. I'm pretty much already done the UFC Paris breakdowns, which I've dropped in written form on the Lock of the Night Patreon page. But the MMA Lockcast breaking down the entire Paris card will drop on Monday. So stay tuned for that. Good luck on the Orozco pick this weekend to all of us. And hopefully when I return for the Contender series breakdown for you guys, I have a giant smile on my face because I helped you guys cash a big underdog ticket. Fingers crossed. All right, I'll see you guys on Sunday for the Contender series breakdowns. Peace.